Welcome to my $100,000 stock experiment, year 3, week 22, ending September 11th, 2020. I'm on a mission to become a great growth stock investor, and I'm letting you watch me on my journey. Hopefully you can learn from my mistakes and celebrate my successes. According to investors.com, the market is now in an uptrend under pressure. This means it's not a particularly good time to be buying stocks, and you should review your holdings to see which ones you would like to get rid of right now. The S&P 500 index closed this week at that green line that I added on February 14, 2020. This is an area of support and resistance that I thought that this index had shown. It's at 33.45, and we need to see if this index can stay above that this week. If it drops below it, then who knows where it's going to go next. So let's see if it can go sideways or move back up. I did sell one stock this week. My buy one in Amazon triggered the floor at an 8% loss. I also got kicked out on my B2 and my B3 with an 8% loss last week. And this week I got kicked out of my B1 by $2 on a $3,000 stock. So I didn't miss it by much, but it hit it and it kicked me out. I did make one purchase this week. I made a B1 in Apple. Every time I purchase a stock, I set a stop limit order 8% below my purchase price. If that triggers, my stock will automatically sell. I like to leave it at that 8% floor for 4 weeks unless my stock makes a double-digit gain. The intersection of that green line and that little orange box, that's the day that I purchased the stock. The market was in a confirmed uptrend that day, but now it is uptrend under pressure, so that turns my buy signal off, so I won't be buying until the market is in a better position. I've held Apple for 2 days and I'm down 3.4%. I had held this stock before and I got kicked out recently, and I thought this was good because it was holding above its 50-day simple moving average, that diagonal red line. So I went ahead and bought this for my own portfolio. I got some for my husband too. Every week I like to review my charts and see if I need to raise my floor. Marvell Technology Group, stock symbol MRVL. I bought this stock 2 weeks ago and I have a 0.2% gain, so it's basically flat. Last week my green line and that little orange box were showing where I had bought the stock for my husband's portfolio. I didn't have it marked up right for this experiment, so this week I have it correct. So that solid green line is where I purchased the stock at 38.67, and then the solid yellow line is my 8% floor. I like this chart. While it did drop down to the 50-day simple moving average, it popped right back and it's back up to its 8-day simple moving average. Nvidia, I've held this stock for quite a long time. My B1 I've held for 14 weeks and it's up just about 35%. My B2 I've held for 12 weeks and it's up 27%. And my B3 I've held for 7.5 weeks and it's up 20.5%. It did go down a little bit this week, but it is holding tight at its 31-day exponential moving average. I didn't raise my floor, but I will watch this at the end of the week and I'll consider selling or trimming if it isn't still above that 31-day exponential moving average. My current holdings bar chart, Nvidia is in the green. You can see that I've held it for quite some time, and it did have a drop the last 2 weeks. All the way over on the left-hand side is my Apple, which is in the red, and Marvell, which is in the brown. That dashed black line is my $10,000 purchase, and the solid yellow line is the 8% floor. I sort my dollar value gains with the lowest value on the top. So Apple I have a loss in, Marvell I have a teeny tiny gain in, and Nvidia in my B1 I have $3,486 gain on my $10,000 purchase. I also look at the percentage gain each week and I sort that with the losers on the top. The ones that I have in the red box did not beat the S&P 500 for the week, and Nvidia has actually not beat the S&P 500 for the last 2 weeks. My biggest holding is still in cash. I have $111,000 in cash, and then in chips I have almost $36,000 with $26,000 in Nvidia and $10,000 in Marvell, and then I have one buy in Apple, which is in the telecom sector. My weekly change, I lost about $1,600 this week. $600 I lost in my existing stocks. $600 I lost in what I held last week, sold this week. And then I have a $342 loss in Apple, which is my new purchase. After 2 years and 22 weeks, my $100,000 has grown to $157,189 versus the S&P 500 for the same time period has grown to $125,775. This chart just gives you a little more detail on my dollar value change and the weekly change for the S&P 500 versus the Melissa method experiment. Year 3 started mid-April, and down at the very bottom you can see the 9/11 is highlighted there in the yellow. So if you go across there, the weekly change is the column in blue. For the S&P 500, the weekly change was a negative 2.5%. versus the Melissa method weekly change was a negative 1.0%. And my experiment year is the column with the orange on top of it. The S&P 500 has changed 19.8% since mid-April versus the Melissa method that's quite far behind at an 8.6%. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for my next episode, or better yet, subscribe to my channel, The Melissa Method. Don't forget to hit the bell if you want an alert when I post a new episode.